Let's begin with the fifth chapter from your history and civics book of grade 6, and the name of the chapter is the early Vedic civilization. In this chapter we will learn about the Vedic civilization of India, and let's begin. The Aryans. It is believed that the Aryans came from outside the India and they started settling down here, and the original inhabitant, those who were the original Indians, they were getting dominated by the Aryans. This is what we believe. Let us read the chapter now. The Aryans. The advanced Harappan civilization, which flourished between 2500 and 1500 BCE, reached a stage of stagnation. Stagnation means it got stopped there, did not develop anymore. Okay, it got stopped. Stagnation by 1500 BCE. Around this time, the Aryans began to arrive in India in several waves. Several waves means in several groups. Okay, they are not coming at a time. Slowly and steadily, few people are coming. Suppose 100 people came once, and after a few months, again few hundred people came. So this is waves. They came into conflict with the indigenous inhabitants. That means those who are the actual resident of India. They are telling them indigenous inhabitants, called the Dasas and the Dayus, and took over their land. Most historians believe that the Aryans were nomadic people. Nomadic people means those who did not settle down. They used to move from one place to another in search of food and shelter. Okay, who lived in Central Asia. Those who migrated to India came to be known as Indo-Aryans. Okay, the Aryans entered India in stages and took several centuries to bring India under their control. That means whenever they came in several waves or in several stages, they directly could not control India at a go. Okay, they took some time. They first settled in the Sapta Sindhu. Sapta means seven. Okay, Sapta Sindhu region, that is the region of seven rivers. They named it Brahmavatra. In their language, they are naming it Brahmavatra, which means the land of gods. The period between 1500 BCE and 1000 BCE, during which they lived here, is known as the early Vedic period. Okay, the history of India during this period is based mainly on the Rig Veda, which was composed during this time. So you have to understand that when the Aryans are coming and they are settling down, okay, as they are coming and settling down in 15,000 and you can say 1500 BCE and 1000 BCE, as they are coming and settling, this is getting to be known as the early Vedic period. Okay, the Aryans gradually moved ahead and settled in Gangetic plain. Gangetic plain means river Ganga. Beside the river Ganga, they are calling Gangetic plain. The entire region under their control was renamed Aryavarta. Okay, they're renaming this place as Aryavarta, which means the land of the Aryans. That means Arya and Varta. Varta means land. Okay, according to their language. The period of settlement between 1000 BCE and 500 BCE, during which they lived in the Gangetic plain, is known as the later Vedic period. So when they came to India, they were the nomadic people. The Aryans were the nomadic people. Okay, they were roaming around in the Central Asia, and their name was when they're coming to India, and in 1500 BCE to 1000 BCE, this period is being known as the early Vedic period, right? And later on, when they are settling down in these Gangetic plains during 1000 BCE to 500 BCE, this period is getting denoted as or being known as later Vedic period. What are the Vedic literature? Vedic literature is the primary source from where we can understand about all this information we are studying right now. Okay, our chief source of information about the early Aryans in their religious literature known as the Vedas. Veda is a Sanskrit word that means knowledge or wisdom. The Vedas are a collection of teachings, hymns, rituals, and poems. Okay, the Vedas are a treasure house of knowledge and collective wisdom of the Aryans. There are 4 Vedas: the Rig Veda, Atharva Veda, Sama Veda, and Yajur Veda. You have to memorize this 4 Vedas. Okay, the Brahmanas, the Upanishads, the Puranas, and the epics. What are the epics? Ramayana, Mahabharata. The very long stories are called the epics. Okay, and are the other important religious books of the Aryans. All these sacred books, that means you can say holy books, are collectively known as Vedic literature. Now, this Vedic literature, it is believed that at the very beginning it was not written down, it was not in a recorded form, not in a book format. Okay, it was orally passed down from generation to generation, and later on they noted it down and formed a book. And all these 4 Vedas, or you can say the Upanishads, the Puranas, the Brahmanas, all this Vedic literature dealt not only about the religious matter, it also dealt with the economic, political life, about their social life. All these things were also discussed in these Puranas, or you can say in this Vedic literature. Political organization. What kind of political organization they are talking about? The Aryans were organized into many tribes called janas. Okay, they were having small groups, we can say tribes, and they named themselves janas. Each jana considered of number of villages called gramas. Okay, the grama was composed of a number of families. So as we are having now, few families making one village and few villages making one panchayat, right? Like they were also having the same thing. Few villages were forming one grama, and few gramas were you can say were following this organized in many tribes and janas, right? So few each jana was having village, and each village was having families. So each village was headed by a gramani or the village headman. Okay, like we have in panchayat pradhan, and they were having in each grama, that is in each village, they were having one gramani. Each tribe had their own chieftain or rajan. So each tribe was also having their own head. Okay, the rajan. They protected them. So what was the work of this rajan? The rajan protected them, protected the entire tribe from enemies and looked after their welfare. He was also acknowledged as the spiritual leader. Okay, the Purohita performed religious ceremonies and advised the king on important matters. The Senani was the commander-in-chief of the warriors and led the forces during war. The Rajana did not have absolute power. That means the head was, or the chieftain was not having the absolute, not having all the power in his own hand. Like whatever he would decide, that would not be the final one. So all the powers were not in his hand only. 2 councils called Sabha and Samiti exercise control over the king. Like we can say about our parliamentary system, right? We are having the prime minister, we are having the president, but they are not all in all. They cannot take the Prime Minister cannot take all the decision by himself. We have Lok Sabha, we have Rajya Sabha, right? So like the same thing they are saying, that the Rajan is not having the absolute power in his own hand to take whatever decision he feels like. He is having two councils, Sabha and Samiti. He have to discuss the matters with them, and then only he can take the decision.